Premier League is back. 3 months of absolute hell living through the Euros. Having to watch that substandard football and being disappointed in your country. You know what I mean? So it feels great to be back to the team, the only team that matters. Obviously, there's been a lot going on for the last couple of months. Jurgen Klopp is gone. Arne Slot is here. And there's a new way, a new style that we're going to play. So I want to talk about that today. I also want to talk about certain positions that we need to strengthen in. And also certain players that I think could really, really excel this season. And certain players that I'm just not, I just can't fucking be asked. And you know, here's looking at you, Darwin. Anyway, let's get back to the business of getting back to the business. Ipswich Town 0, Liverpool 2. And honestly, the first half, if we're talking about the game overall, I would say that, you know, it was a good win. There was not really much to learn in a sense. Nothing new that I learned that I didn't know watching pre-season. So the big question for me coming in today's game was, how were Liverpool players going to interpret Arne Slot's playing style? What is it that he demands of them? How much of how much of Jurgen Klopp's style is still gonna linger on? Because obviously that is the big question. When somebody leaves, you know, you don't just adapt to a new style over a pre-season. And I think that's the important thing that we have to remember, that it's going to take a while for all of our players to get in. And there were moments where I looked at this game and I was like, yeah, I can still see these players still trying to, I don't know, kind of find a way where what they've known in the past, so doing Jurgen Klopp's heavy metal football and Arne Slot's more controlled game that we wanted to play. And I can say that we got a little bit of both. We got a little bit of both. But ultimately, the most important thing is that you start your win. You start off with your 3 points. Jurgen Klopp got a draw, I think, when he started his first game against Everton, and I think Brendan Rodgers lost his game. And we're not even going to talk about that shit. Roy Hodgins. Who wants to talk about that era? So it's a good start. It's a positive start. We got Diogo Jota on the score sheet and Mohamed Salah. So, well, listen. Can we just give Mohamed Salah his props? Because you know what? I think he's got the record for the Premier League, 9 goals. For the very first match game of the season. So I think out of the games that he's played, or at least I think there's only one season where he didn't score in his opening game, and I think that was last year. But every single season since Mo Salah has played for Liverpool, bar one, might be 2, but I think bar 1, he scored. So you know what? Let's give a shout out to Mo Salah, who absolutely was my contender for man of the match. I had to really think about it, and I thought about, you know, players who did really well. I thought Ryan Gravenberch, and I wanna speak to that boy as well. I thought Ryan Gravenberch did a solid job playing our 6, but it doesn't mean that he's a 6. And there were moments where I was like, nah, this kid is still learning this. But you know what? He did all right for me, and so we will come away from the Premier League debutants, Ipswich Town, who naturally, you know, if Ed Sheeran is one of your owners, I think he's one of the owners. They really wanted to, you know, and so they really wanted to have a great start, and I think they did. I think by and large, that first half from us. Let's talk about that first half. That first half was a snooze fest. Boring. Absolutely boring. It was as if Liverpool couldn't decide if they wanted to play possession-based football or if they wanted to play counter-attacking football. Or at least that's how I see it. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with what I just said. But I felt that first half was a crisis of identity in terms of what we know how we should play versus how our new coach wants us to play. So we were too impatient when we had possession, and we were too slow when we wanted to counterattack. It was such a weird thing to see. So when we were trying to counterattack, it was just so sluggish, so like, and before you knew it, Ipswich was back in the position. We tried to get the ball between the lines, and here's the thing, that the difference I think between Ryan Gravenberch, where I think there's potential in Ryan Gravenberch playing the sixth, but where someone like McAllister could really find those passes. Gravenberch really struggled to get the space, or to at least find the space between the lines and that kind of stuff. And I could see what they were trying to do, but it just wasn't happening. And so also in that first half, we were also trying to play the whole kick forward, play a one touch, and then play the through ball. Again, it was as if we didn't know how we wanted to play. So a lot of the times where I was like, okay, we've got possession. Well, let's play. Let's play at the back, and let's hold the ball a little bit. But then we would go on and attack. And then when we were going full on counter attack, we'd be so slow and ponderous and laborious that the attack just kind of like fizzled out. Coupled that with, we did almost zero pressing throughout the whole of that first half. So obviously it's fair to say, when the teams went off for halftime, I was just not feeling it, man. I was just not feeling it. But that being said, though, I did say to myself, I always give our teams 3 games to find their feet in the Premier League. Because look, you can have a pre-season, and look, I thought the pre-season was okay. It was decent. Some real fringe players got some real minutes. And we got to have a good idea of what kind of football Arne Slot wanted to play. So today's performance, that wasn't like our best. But that being said, though, you know, a lot of players still came back pretty late from the Copa America and the Euros, so they need time to work on the training pitch, and obviously Arne Slot needed time to do that. But I was so happy that when they came out, they changed things up a little bit. Yeah, not necessarily in personnel, just in the way, the tactics and how they wanted to play. And so they found each other a lot more in between those lines in the second half, and they were able to really kind of like play on the play. And then also on top of that, it was as if nobody had done any pressing for like 5 years. So I was glad to see that our players still know how to press a football team. So that was really, really, really positive. And like I said, to me, overall, it's a good start. It's an exciting time. I think that, to me, what it looks not necessarily that, you know, it's going to be drastically different in terms of the personnel, the players that we have, but there's going to be some tactical tweaks here and there. So I'm keen to see how that develops for the rest of the year. But bearing in mind, it's going to take some time. So having said all of that, if I have to rate the team, well, let's do our ratings. Okay, let's do our ratings. Because yeah, in that first half, yeah, everybody probably got like a 4 from me. I mean, apart from Ryan Gravenberch, which I would put at a 6. But that was the first half. And I think overall, in general, there wasn't really anybody that really stood out, like I said, apart from Mo Salah, who broke the record again. You know, that aside, and also a really well-taken goal by Diogo Jota. But it was difficult for me to see where Szoboszlai was in this game, because the game. Let's go through the team. So we start with Alisson Becker, numero uno, God's chosen one. This is Alisson Becker. He made one good save on the line, I think. And he was it was solid as always that you can kind of like rely on. So you know what, for me, Ali gets a 7.5, because he was solid. Didn't have to do too much. In terms of the back line, where you had Robertson, Van Dijk, Kwanzaa was playing in the first half, and then Virgil, and then obviously Trent Alexander-Arnold. I thought that Virgil had a solid game, nothing too. I mean, in fact, all the backline had a solid game. I was quite surprised that they took off Kwanzaa so early, but maybe Slot just felt that Konate's recovery speed was a lot better covering for Trent. And holy crap, you need to talk about this kid. I can see it going this season, because without Konate's covering speed, Trent left a lot of holes when he was kind of going forward. I thought Trent was okay. I felt that when Conor Bradley came up, there was a little bit more of a balance. It feels more balanced in that team. And then also with Konate, just adding that extra layer of defense, extra layer of protection. So in the half turn, you had so just in front of the defenders on the half turn, you had McAllister and Gravenberch. And I thought that Gravenberch, like I said, he did a really good job. Is he going to be my 6? Hell no. We can't go 2 seasons with makeshift number 6s. Fabinho left 2 seasons ago. Okay? So we can't have another situation where we're having stop filler gaps and whatever kind of thing. So there's a couple of weeks left, maybe 2 weeks left, where we can still get a deal. I think that's a priority, because I do think that Gravenberch can play, and Gravenberch has always been a very versatile player, and he can fill in slots and he can fit in there and there. But we need that specialist, especially the way we want to play out from the back. So I thought Gravenberch was fine. I didn't rate the others, so let me just quickly go back to the defense, right? So in terms of the defenders, I thought Robert was fine. All the defenders for me get a 7. I thought that was okay. In terms of the half turn, I'd give Gravenberch an 8, because I thought he did really well. I thought McAllister was really quiet. He didn't really get into the game. He looks rusty and looks like he's lacking a bit of match fitness. So for me, McAllister gets a 6. I'm sorry, I just didn't rate him in this game. There wasn't really anything that was going through him. Now, moving on to the other midfielders. Soboslai, anonymous. Apart from the assist, I think, that he did with Mo Salah. Another game where I thought that Soboslai was anonymous. And so, looking back at my prediction that he was the next Gerrard, nah, it's just not it. So, but you know what? He fell off a cliff at the second half of last season. I'm hoping he's going to have a much better season. But you know what? Everybody starts on a good turn with me this year. So, Soboslai, for me, gets a 6.5. Who else is there? Going on to the forwards lines. Luis Diaz, again, an energizer bunny, really running at defenders, giving them hell. But ultimately, as always, Luis Diaz doesn't have an end product. And there were chances. He had some really good chances. One of them you could have probably tested the keeper a lot better. Another one where, man, he's in the 6-yard box and he tips it over the goal. Fair enough, the goalkeeper was coming out. But he should have done so much better. So again, another performance for me where Luis Diaz is getting a 6 out of 10. 6.5 out of 10. Only because he's finishing. You know what? No, screw that. Let's give him a 7. He was okay. Diogo Jota gets the goal. As always, I was really surprised that Arne Slot took him off, because I know why, you want to bring Cody Gakpo in. But I thought Diaz was doing just enough to kind of like keep his position, keep his spot there. But that's why Slot gets paid the big bucks. And then, of course, you have Mo Salah, again, first game of the season, smashing in another goal, and a very good goal. Really, really classy done. So I'm super happy for him. Arne Slot, yeah, to me, he gets a 7.5. It's a good start, a solid start. Most importantly, he got those teams to come out and play a hell of a lot better in that second half, because I swear that first half was snooze fest. Anyways, Reds, I'm gonna see how this formats all kind of like go in the coming weeks. Obviously, it's gonna change a little bit. I've got a new spot that I'm sitting in. Thought I'd come and relax a little bit more and just have like a chat to you guys about the game. But to me, what I've seen and what I'm hoping for is I'm seeing the picture. It's not perfect, but I'm seeing the picture that we want, that the kind of football that we want to play. Like I said, maybe it was called it the first game, but today I didn't see too much of the possession-based football, especially when there's a low block. I wanted to see how what Slot's tactics are on the low block, playing possession football. So yeah, he's gonna have a lot of chances to do that. I'm glad we got the result. It is was a potential banana skin, a team that was coming up in Premier League, their first game, up against Liverpool, wanting to show their owners, and their fans. Great game, but Liverpool absolutely professional, 100% deserve to win the 3 points, and we go again to the next one. Anyway, Reds, that's it for me. Hope you all are having a wonderful Saturday. Enjoy whatever you're up to, and I'll see you at the next one. Take care.